I don't know. I don't have an intro, so we're just going straight into it. Okay. Okay. In this video, I'm gonna be going over like making two OCs because I want to make content about my OCs, and this is like the only way that I can do it. So any excuse I can get. Okay, so my initial idea for these characters is I was scrolling and I saw a clip from Yuri on Ice, and it gave me like flashbacks to when I used to watch it. Hang on, I'll like put in the clip that I'm talking about because it like inspired the whole idea for these characters. But I saw this clip and I was like, wait, what if I made two characters, right? One of them is an ice skater who... Imagine like a donut right now, okay? This is my raw thought process. Imagine a donut. And the ice skating character, she dances in this section, and then on the middle part of the donut would be like a platform for someone to do like I don't know, belly dancing or break dancing. And then I started cooking. I started scheming instantly, okay? The idea, it clicked, and I just had to instantly like get it down. I can see now that like my thought process for it is a little bit crazy. I don't know how I went from like point A to point B so quickly, but I'm pretty sure like I had the idea when I was listening to Hella Good. I can't remember who the song's by, so I'll also put a screenshot. I was listening to that song and I was on the bus and I was like, whoa, oh my goodness, like I foreseed the future or something. But anyway, so basically for this first character, her name's Lola, by the way. Now, I struggle to name OCs, so if her name ends up changing at some point, we're not even going to question it, okay? And if you can think of a better name for her, then do let me know in the comments, because I don't know how I feel about the name Lola. I was like, you know what, I need to give her a name, so I gave her... Also, I named her last. I designed her entire thing and all of the ideas for her, and then I named her. I'm a bad mother, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so the generic concept for her design was that she was going to be an ice skater. That was kind of all I had planned when I was going into it, and I kind of just started drawing and like coming up with ideas as I went. Now, something that's kind of important for like the context of her design, to be honest, not really her design, more like the other character who will come in later, but I'll say it now so you understand. But basically, these characters are based in my like monster/humans universe that I'm creating. I'm making a bunch of characters for it because one day I'd like to make like a manga or like a webtoon or a comic or some kind of content for it that would be like a whole story. That's just kind of important so you can understand like how the world works. So it's pretty futuristic, which is important for Lola's design. But yeah, I started designing her. I had like a couple ideas. I wanted her fashion sense to lean into like stereotypical Pinterest coquette. Like, I'm guilty, okay? If I can see loads of reference images, I'm going for it. And then I also wanted to take some like elements of like the kind of Ethel Caine-y, like white lace fabrics. I know that that's not really what you'd call it, but I don't know what that fashion style would be called. Also, she's also inspired by Marianne Yearly from Bones and All. If you know Bones and All, you're a real one. I love you. But yeah, I also thought it would be interesting for her design, because obviously I wanted her to be human. I wanted one of these characters to be human and the other one be like monster or half monster, you know, for the stereotypical vibe of it. But I wanted her design to be a little bit more interesting and to have like some kind of depth to it. So I decided that she's basically grown up wanting to be an ice skater. She's done quite a... She was first a ballerina, and then she went into ice skating, and it's been like her lifelong dream to be a professional ice skater, like representing her country and stuff, which is the generic premise of her design. But I was like, oh, this is boring. I need to sprucing it up a little bit. I need to make it interesting. So I was like, I'm gonna chop off her legs. Yep. Now, I do plan on her being in some kind of accident, but I can't think of an accident which would cause you to lose the lower part of your legs. Like your shin. And maybe I'm flawed. To be fair, I couldn't be asked to Google it, so it's entirely my fault. But if you guys can also think of like some kind... It doesn't even have to be an accident. It could be like if there's some kind of condition or something which would cause her to have her legs amputated, because basically that's the premise. She gets her her lower legs amputated when she was like, I don't know, 16 whereabouts. and she still really wants to perform, so she has these bionic legs, which are kind of like, I wanted to take like cyberpunk elements to it, because I thought it'd be really cool for her design. And also, you know how I had the generic idea that there would be a dance floor kind of area in the center point of where she skates? Something with her bionic legs is they can actually, like, the ice skating blades can obviously retract into the foot, so they can be like usual shoes. Like, I just thought it would be pretty cool if she'd just be able to hop onto the dance floor whenever she wanted. Yeah. Oh, one thing as well is I definitely think that Lola feels a little bit left out. Despite, because I mean, no matter what, I want a big point of her character being like the fact that she's a survivor and she's able to push past despite, you know, her disability. But she's kind of like exiled by the other ice skaters because they think she has like an unfair bonus, which is irritating me. I know I decided that, but I was like, how dare they think that of my beautiful princess? I'm sorry, like I'm an OC glazer to the end of time, I swear. If I'm being honest, her design out of the two was the easiest to do. I thought it went relatively smoothly. I ended up getting art block when I started working on Coraline's design, which is the next OC. So this video was meant to be out like a week ago, and my art block punched me in the face and didn't want me to upload, I guess, so that was fun. Okay, so now moving on to Coraline's design, my whole vibe is I wanted to lean into a bit more of like a stereotypical mask lesbian vibe for Caroline's character. But, okay, I originally was going to make her just a breakdancer, but then I realized I don't really want to have to animate breakdancing because I do intend on making animations of these characters. So I'm making Caroline the kind of character who has a lot of different talents. She's going to be a guitarist, a dancer, maybe even an artist of some kinds, just because I think it would be fun to have one character who's fully 100% dedicated to one singular craft, and then another character who's just kind of all over the place doing everything. I think they'd complement each other quite well in that aspect. But yeah, when it came to clothing and outfits, I wanted to lean into more like mask outfit and mask presenting kind of vibes. And I knew I wanted green to be like Caroline's favorite color. Coraline. Oh, that's another thing. I don't know if I want her name to be Coraline or Caroline. So, if I switch between them, then I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know. As you can see here, I was messing around between having the black and green hair or the blonde and green hair, because whenever I see black and green hair, I like instantly think of Billie Eilish. And even though Billie Eilish may be a voice claim for Caroline, I'm not entirely sure. I felt like that was a little bit too far into like a mental stereotype of color schemes that I had. And I felt like the green and blonde would be like just a little bit more interesting, a touch of like uniqueness to the design. But I did really struggle to make that decision. So if it looks terrible, then that's not even my fault, I guess. I don't know if I said this, but they're both singers, by the way. I don't know if I made that clear. I probably didn't, because I'm kind of just yapping and just praying everything comes together in post-editing. But yeah, they're both singers. This is a big point. They're going to end up performing together. If I make a story of this, then it's going to be like a lead up to point. Also, they won't be the main characters. These would be like side characters, like a subplot kind of thing. But yeah, it would be a love story. They're in love. I love them. They're cuties. But like, I draw them together, but within a plot standpoint, they wouldn't get together straight away. You know what I mean? It would be like a romance. You gotta wait for them to get together. You know. But yeah, I don't know if I made that clear, but they would be performing together. That's why the song Hella Good, like, really makes me think of them. Speaking of songs that make me think of them, I made a whole playlist for these characters. I think it's really important for me to make playlists for my OCs when I'm designing them, and also when I'm, like, making content of them so that I can just mentally remember how they're supposed to act, because I have the issue where like my characters kind of just go all over the place, and I'm trying to make sure that I like refine them as people. So most of the time, like my OCs will have individual playlists, but because I was designing these two together, you know what I mean? I made like a joint playlist. So there's specific songs for each of the characters. Like these songs are Caroline's songs, and then these songs are Lola's songs, and then these are songs of like Caroline and Lola like when they're together, or like songs that make me think of them, you know? I love making playlists for my OCs. I think this is a very common thing in the art community, that we love to do that for our OCs. They deserve to sing their little songs. Also, the song that most inspired them, like the song that I go, this is literally them, like I'm not even kidding, this was written for them, is A Night to Remember. I'm not even kidding. Even like a part of me thinks that that's what their voices would sound like. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really give voice claims to my OCs. I like to just leave that up to my imagination. But even the voices and the story and just everything. And I want to make an animatic to it, but I really struggle to commit to a bit. So the likelihood of that happening is like really short, but I think that it would be really cool. And the song is just so them, and I love it so much. Oh my god, I just realized I forgot to mention, Caroline's half ghoul. I don't know how I managed to forget that, but yeah, she's half ghoul. So, in person, she looks pretty normal, except for the fact that she's like really pale. But on camera, she kind of looks see-through, and she has like a glow to her. And also, she can turn invisible at any point in time. I just think that's silly. I think that's fun. Also, Caroline's like low-key blind. Not fully, she's just like a little bit hard of seeing, and she has prescribed glasses, but she does not wear them, and her excuse is that she does a lot of spinning and a lot of fitness, so she's moving all the time, and it's blurry anyway. Little does she know it's blurry because she can't see anything, and not because it's actually blurry, but we'll let our delusional queen say whatever. And then, of course, I needed to do a cute little drawing of them together, happy, loving, yeah. This drawing was meant to be done a couple days ago, but the background had a vice grip around my neck. I don't know why I struggled with it so much, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna let this play out. Thank you for watching. Give me any comments, recommendations, or ideas for these characters as they're in like really early production stages, and I hope you enjoyed the video.